Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to break down a classic weekend argument question. This is a GMAT prep question and is an excellent example of how the test makers hide the real issue inside a seemingly simple argument. Before we move ahead with the explanation, I suggest you pause this video and attempt the question. Once you are done, you may resume the video. Before we jump into the technical part of this GMAT argument, let's rest it in simple everyday language. Imagine the scenario that you are in Kravonia and you are observing the job market in front of your eyes. You notice two things. First, people with college degrees usually earn more money. Second, recently more and more young people are joining college. Based on just these two observations, someone confidently tells you, oh, this means that in the coming years, the job market will be flooded with many more people who have college degrees. Now, at first glance, this sounds completely reasonable, isn't it? More people joining college leads to more people graduating, leads to more degree holders showing up in the job market. But the GMAT wants us to think, is this actually guaranteed? Or is this person jumping to a conclusion? This is exactly what today's question is testing. Now, let's begin by understanding the structure of this argument. Now, this argument has two premises. The first one is a general trend in Kravonia that the average salary for jobs requiring a college degree is greater than average salary for jobs that do not require a degree. So, in other words, in Kravonia, people with college degrees make more money than people without degrees. That's the common sense interpretation. Second premise is over the last few years, college enrollment for Kravonians has been growing steadily. That is, more and more people are signing up for college in recent years. Based on this, the author wants us to believe that the number of Kravonians entering the job market with college degrees will become significantly higher than it has been over the last few years. That's the conclusion. Therefore, what he's saying is, based on the premises that we saw in the last slide, the author is saying is soon we will see many more people entering the job market with a college degree. So what's the author doing here? He's trying to make us believe that since the college enrollment for Kravonians has been growing steadily, we will see more and more Kravonians with college degrees entering the job market. He thinks that the number of people graduating with a degree will eventually be higher. And he bases this conclusion on the fact that the number of students enrolled in college is higher now than it used to be. On the surface, it makes sense. More people enrolled means more people graduating, isn't it? Well, we will see it in a minute. Now, remember, in these questions, when we talk about weaken, strengthen question or evaluate question, generally there is a very narrow focus that the argument is dealing with. And these are generally issue at hand. So in this case, what is the issue at hand? The issue at hand is whether there will be significant number of Kravonians with college degrees entering the job market. So will rising enrollment actually result in more degree holders entering the job market in the near future? This is the only thing we care about. Any option that does not address this issue at hand is not going to be the correct answer. Now let's look at what should a correct answer do and how can we weaken this claim. First of all, we need a new consideration, a new information from outside the realm of the passage that opens up a possibility that the higher enrollments do not necessarily translate to increased number of graduates. Secondly, any choice that does not address the issue at hand that we saw will be irrelevant. For example, comparison with trends in other countries is completely irrelevant, right? Does not address the issue at hand. And we need to show that rising enrollment does not necessarily lead to more degree holders entering the job market soon. Okay, now let's think about a few potential weakness for the argument. The first one, let's say, if we say, what if considerable proportion of students are now dropping out midway? If significant proportion of students are dropping midway, then they are not graduating, they're not getting the degrees, right? So that's a weakness. What if many students have been flunking their annual exams and repeating extra years before graduating? If they are repeating extra years, that means they are not graduating in time, right? That's another weakness. And one more, let's see one more before we move to the answer choices. What if the number of years it takes students to graduate from most colleges in Kravonia has increased by an year? Or let's say, imagine what if the colleges now want them to complete a degree in more number of years? The demand has changed. It will take them longer to graduate, right? So the availability of students at the end of the year will not necessarily increase. This is again a weakness. With these few warm up weakeners in mind, let's move on and look at the answer choices. Remember, on GMAT verbal, the name of the game is process of elimination. Even if you zero in on the right answer choice, you know that's the right answer choice. Still, it's in our best interest to look at all the five answer choices, eliminate the four wrong answers, and then finalize our right answer. Let's look at the first one. Cravonians with more than one college degree earn little more on average than do Cravonians with only one college degree. This is the classic GMAT trap. It talks about salaries, but the argument is not about salaries at all. The conclusion is about how many degree holders will enter the job market, not how much they will earn. Nothing here affects the number of graduates entering the workforce, so we can rule this option out. It's irrelevant. Let's look at the next one. The average number of years Cavonian college students remain enrolled before completing a degree has been increasing over the past several years. Wow, isn't it something that we already saw earlier, right, in our potential weakness? So, if students take longer to finish, then graduation is delayed. Entry into the job market is delayed. Even if enrollment rises, the number of new degree holders entering the job market may not rise significantly in the near time. Imagine the scenario. Maybe Cravonian College used to only take 2 years to complete, and 500 students entered college each year. During any given year, there would be 1,000 students enrolled, right? And only 500 students graduating. Then something changes. Instead of graduating in 2 years, it now takes 4 years to graduate. If the same 500 students enter college each year, then total enrollment will go up to 2,000 because there are 4 years now, while the graduation rate of 500 remains the same. Now, this severely weakens the argument because it destroys the link between the number of people enrolled in college at any given time and the number who graduate with a degree. So, this looks good. So, let's keep this choice for now and evaluate the answer choices which are remaining. Okay, the next one is, despite the increase in the number of Cavonians attending college, the percentage of the population attending college is lower in Cravonia than in other countries. So this tells us Cravonia has lower college participation than other countries. But do we care about other countries? We do not. Comparison with other countries is irrelevant, right? The argument is only concerned with what's happening inside Cravonia and specifically whether more degree holders will enter the job market soon. This has a zero impact on whether enrollment converts into graduates. And GMAT, by the way, loves these side story comparisons. But we need to be focused. We need to keep in mind the issue at hand, what we are supposed to address. Rule out choice C. Let's move on. In recent years, employers have been requiring college degrees for workers in jobs that were previously performed successfully with Peruvians who did not have college degrees. Okay, this talks about employer hiring requirements. That is, the demand for degrees is rising. But the argument's conclusion is about supply. How many people with degrees will enter the job market? These hiring requirements do not tell us whether more people will graduate or more will enter the market with a degree. Thus, this does not weaken the claim. If anything, it could make having a degree more desirable. But even that does not reduce the number of graduates. Rule out choice D. Next one is, for many years, employers in Kravonia have had difficulty finding enough college graduates to fill the high paying jobs that were available. Now, this describes a past shortage of graduates and tells us companies have historically struggled to find enough graduates. But the argument is predicting something about the future flow of graduates entering the job market. Note that past shortages do not tell us whether more graduates will enter the job market, nor whether enrollment translates into graduation. So clearly, it does not challenge the link between enrollment and graduation. In fact, employers struggling to find graduates does not weaken the claim at all. So E is irrelevant as it is not related to the flow of graduates. So let's rule out choice C. So the answer is clearly B. Students are taking longer to complete degrees. This opens up the possibility that even though more students are enrolling, the flow of degree holders entering the job market will not increase significantly anytime soon. And that directly weakens the author's argument. Therefore, the correct answer is choice B. Hope this video was useful to you. Thank you very much.